Class of 2022, let us pray. Dear God, let us forget about the days when it's been cloudy, but not about our hours in the sun, about the times we have been defeated, but not all the victories that we have won. May we forget about mistakes that we cannot change now, but never forget the lessons that we learned, about misfortunes we have encountered, but not the times our luck has turned. We pray that we forget about the days when we have been lonely, but may we not forget the friendly smiles we have seen, that we forget the plans that did not seem to work out right, but never forget to always have a dream. Help us bring peace to all we meet. Where there is hatred, let us bring love. Where there is darkness, let us bring light. Where there is sadness, let us bring joy. And where there is doubt, let us bring faith. Amen.
God of us all, we pause to give thanks for the satisfying journey that has brought us to this moment and to look forward to a future full of promise, challenge, and hope. For the rich heritage and ongoing mission of the Walker School, from which we have benefited immeasurably. For mentors who have taught and challenged, inspired and nurtured. For supportive family and friends who have accompanied us on our journey. For opportunities to learn and grow, for discoveries about ourselves and our world, and for people who have enriched our lives. You have sustained us, guided us, and gifted us. Where the way is blocked by prejudice and ignorance, where once still waters have been troubled by division and violence, in the deep valleys where human need cries out in desperation, when the worn pathways of daily life tempt us to close our eyes to suffering in our midst. Please be seated.
stars of light, Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of praise. For the joy of human love, brother, sister, parent, child, friends on earth and friends above, for gentle thoughts of mine, for gentle thoughts of mine, Lord of all, to thee we raise this our joyful hymn of praise. For each perfect gift of thine, to our rest so freely given, praises to raise and divine, Lord of all, to thee we raise this our joyful hymn of praise. This our joyful hymn, our hymn of
Good evening. When I was first asked to introduce this year's baccalaureate speaker, Mr. Jack Hall, I wasn't sure where to begin. Mr. Hall has had a very accomplished career, which all started after working at a summer camp for the inner city students of New York. After that summer camp, his love for education grew after both he and his father realized he was meant to work with people, not bank accounts like his father, whose footsteps Mr. Hall always thought he would follow. This passion for education has led to some of his proudest moments. For example, he taught at the Westminster School for 11 years, later continuing with graduate school at Columbia University, in which his fellowship grant created the opportunity to work at a school in Florida. Next, he became the division head at Augusta Prep for 12 years. When he and his family decided to move back to the Atlanta area, Walker was the only school he applied to because he had always been impressed with it. To Mr. Hall, Walker's environment created a healthy and diverse community that allows its students to learn from each other. And under his leadership, Walker continues to serve its school and community best. A main example of that leadership, and one of his proudest accomplishments, is the New Avenues Dyslexia Program, the school within a school at Walker that allows students with diagnosed language learning differences to thrive in learning environments. Whether it is getting pranked by a college roommate's girlfriend into eating chocolate-covered cotton balls, or having to fill in the lead role on opening night for a children's play he directed himself, Mr. Hall is always willing to learn and listen to others, always coming into things with an open mind and new ideas. Today, Mr. Hall is here to celebrate our own accomplishments and the great milestone that we have today with the class of 2022. So, please help me give a warm welcome to Mr. Jack Hall.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate that. It's an honor to be included in this weekend's celebration of the class of 2022. And for those of you that don't know me well, if my voice cracks, don't let it bother you. As I thought about the remarks I would make today, one theme kept coming to mind. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate the class of 2022. This special time is about you. And I intend for these few moments, and I intend to use these few moments to celebrate you. From your perspective, from the perspective of those of us who love you, and from my perspective. So let the celebration begin. To get started, those of you in the audience should know I surveyed the class of 2022 along with the faculty and staff, and I wanted to share some things with you about this special class. One of the first questions I asked was, what was your favorite memory of the class of 2022? One said, our 8th grade trip to Chattanooga. Another said, by far, it's the time our freshman year when we had that Navy recruiter. You know, that guy came in and gave us a lesson on teamwork. It was weird. It was wild, but it was wonderful, I think. My favorite memory was coming back to school in person. Another said, senior year prom. Another said, so far the graduation parties have been the best memory and a really great way to bond with the people in our class for the final time. Another said, the car parade on the final day of classes. One said, my favorite memories are all the HOCO walkouts and the late nights spent practicing, especially this year's walkout. One said, I really enjoyed the festivities around the holiday break. Singing Partridge in a Pear Tree song as a school was a lot of fun and definitely one of my favorite memories of the school. And then the final entry was, their favorite memory was being the best grade. I asked the class of 2022 and our faculty and staff to tell me about an unsung hero in the class of 2022 and why they consider this person an unsung hero. And so here are the nominations. First, Billy Melvin, because he can do magic. Next, participating behind the scenes in theater at working the lights, operating the soundboard, or building the set, Elias Quinalty has quite literally avoided the spotlight. His modus operandi is often the same in class. He appreciates the company of thoughtful people and does an excellent job of highlighting the work of his peers. My wife and I like finding him at Waffle House. Another nominated, Juan Nolte. He is the most willing person to help anyone who needs it. Whether it's on homework or something non-school related, Juan is eager to lend a hand, and we need more people like that in our lives. Amy Morales is an example of a person who should be viewed as a hero or a role model. She is one to always show up when you need her. She is one not to complain and always finishes the task in front of her and always gives her best. She wants to do right for her community and for her parents, and with all that she has accomplished, she is still humble and believes that she can do more. Amy leads by example and not by words. And we need more people like Amy in the world. Amy received 2 Unsung Hero nominations. This next one is one of my personal favorites, Jackson Crail. People often underestimated his math skills, when in reality, he can do mental math like no other. I figured they would like that. Another nomination, Sam Armstrong. He never fails to make people laugh or simply just ask how your day is going. Sam is always looking for ways to help his classmates and his teachers. Another nominee, Sydney Renfro. She does so much work with the Diversity Alliance, and she is thoughtful and inclusive in everything that she does. This is another one of my favorite ones. Jacob Freitas and I actually went to pre-K together, so I'm biased. But I can't imagine our class without him. He's funny, he's genuine, and brilliant all in one. But most of all, he's caring to everyone, no matter what, and he always has been. Also, he's a great dancer. No one breaks it down like Jacob. Jacob received 3 Unsung Hero nominations. Next up for our Unsung Hero, Olivia Hall. Not only did she keep me sane in our physics class, she also was one of the people who constantly made sure that I was included. And if I wasn't, she would be by my side regardless. She not only did this for me, but for countless other people. She is an amazing person who never causes any discord, and I think she deserves more recognition as a person. Next, honestly, Sia Patel. She works her butt off and doesn't get enough credit. Sorry. The student activities and engagement would not be the same without her hard work and creativity. Sia earned 2 Unsung Hero nominations. Garrett Beaver is another unsung hero. He has basically been the 4th member of the IT department for the past several years. I do not know what we would have done without him. Another nominee, Robert Larson. He is a walking billboard for the Walker School. He's kind, compassionate, committed, detailed, and competitive. He's an unsung hero in every aspect of the phrase. In football, he plays on the line, and we know they don't get any love. In basketball, he plays in the post, he boxes out, he takes charges, he dives on the floor, and we know they don't get much love. Robert is a blue-collar worker that has been a hero for Walker since he enrolled here. And one of the seniors decided to think out of the box for their unsung hero and wrote, "It's funny, but I've thought about this a lot. I have to give it to Mr. Hagan. It was really, really freaking hard to lose Mrs. Krejci as a teacher, friend, and advisor. But Mr. Hagan took me and half of our advisory in and became that person for us. We weren't really easy to deal with, but he accepted every single one of us. I also never really appreciated that until my exit interview when he let me spill everything, and he even cried a little with me. It was so touching to know that I can come back and feel safe with him. He's truly the best ever even since I was in his advisory in 8th grade. I knew that. He's also got the best shoe game. So I asked the class of 2022, what question keeps popping up in your head at this transition point in your life? I'd like to share some of those. What could I have done better? Are hot dogs really a taco? My daughter says that yes, they are. Our son, on the other hand, says no, they're not. What's next? Who will my roommate be? Will I make friends? Will I ever get a break? Will I keep my nails this long forever? Just kidding. It's actually, how can I keep these amazing people I'm graduating with in my life forever? What else do I need to do this summer to be fully prepared for college? Am I going to see my classmates again? And I'd like to share some questions that I think you should continue to ask. And this is a very small sample size. Does God exist? And if so, why does God allow evil in the world? Is it true that a child's life expectancy is predicted more by their zip code than by their genetic code? Why is that? What's the difference between living and existing? What legacy do I want to leave behind? Or perhaps to look at it a different way, when you're 90 years old, what will matter most to you? Who inspired you and help make you who you are today? How will I make a difference? Keep asking questions. Be willing to engage in conversations with those around you who ask questions you haven't thought of. This is one of the key ways to foster a lifelong love of learning. I also asked the class of 2022 if they could share a thank you with someone who is likely in attendance here tonight at Baccalaureate. What would they say? I love what they shared. I want to thank my parents for putting up with teenager me and continuing to do so without complaining. Without their support, I definitely would not have come anywhere close to where I am now or anything I'll achieve in the future. Another thank you to Mr. Bradford or Mr. Bryan, just because they are both terrific people and they really deserve a double raise for how great they are with the students. It's nice that the CFO is right over there with you, Mr. Bryan. That's awesome. Thank you to Mrs. Branham for making me feel like I had a purpose in school and for trusting me enough to be an editor of the yearbook. You made me find that I have a true passion for journalism. Dr. Eisenman, hands down, Dr. Eisenman, thank you for being on my side whenever I needed it, especially when things were awful and I wanted to graduate early. Thank you for putting up with us. We were absolutely wild sometimes, but you never stopped believing in every single one of us, even while getting your PhD. Thanks to Katie Arjona, I will never forget the lessons and friends I made in the theater department. Shout out to Thespian Troop 6768. Thank you, Dr. Schaefer, for everything. I know it's cliche, but I definitely want to thank my parents. Not only have they invested so much in me, as did all the other Walker parents, but they also support my wildest dreams. I feel extremely lucky to have parents that allow me to take an artistic route in college and truly believe that I can make something out of myself. They never force me to be someone I am not. They have been the most encouraging people in my life, reminding me to do what makes me happy. Be with who makes me happy, and make as many other people as I can happy in the process. Additionally, they were always so trusting that I would take care of my homework or studies, that they would never pry into my school life. By doing this, it gave me so much freedom and motivation to do well in my studies. Not to gain anyone's approval, but because I wanted to do it well for myself. This is something that's very rare, but I want them to know that I notice those little things. It's extremely bittersweet to see how fast the time has gone by. In college, I'll be in a different state, but I have so much support through my parents that I can't help but be excited about the next chapter in my life. These next three thank yous weren't directed at any one in particular, but I thought they were worth sharing. Thank you for supporting me through some of the toughest and darkest years of my life. Thank you for pushing us to be our best and helping us to get through all the challenges of high school. Thank you for just being there. Thanks to everyone for a great 4 years. And then I asked the faculty and staff that if they had advice to share with the class of 2022 on the eve of their graduation, what would it be? And I love what the faculty and staff shared. First, if you see an internship you want in the future, don't wait, go for it. Say you'll do it your freshman year for free because you want the experience. People have a hard time saying no to free help, and you get your foot in the door. Lead with empathy. Take the time to really enjoy college. It goes by fast, and the next thing you know, you're working. Study hard, get good grades, but enjoy life as much as you can. Be the most authentic version of yourself. It isn't easy. People won't always like it, but those who do will be your tribe. You will be much happier in the long run. I love this one. Invest in nice personal stationery. Carve out time and put your thoughts of gratitude in writing. Then share it with the one for whom you are grateful. Quite often, a handwritten note of appreciation will become a cherished memento, perhaps a place marker in a favorite book or as a decoration for a hike wall, and will provide a ray of sunshine in troubling times. Always remember to tell your parents how much you love them. Many sacrifices were made to get you to where you are today. Do not rush. Learn patience. Things that are meant to be will come. Those things that you feel you need to force to happen normally are not best for you. Okay, I want everybody to listen to this next one. This is the most important thing I'm going to say tonight. The quote that has stuck with me the most and served me best is Frederick Buechner's definition of vocation. The place where our deep gladness meets the world's deep need. As you go to college, take chances, try new things, and engage in the world around you to find your deep gladness. The world needs you. And then a last one, play nice. We've been telling you this since you were 3 years old, but in this faculty member's book, if you live by this motto, people will respect you. And more importantly, you will be able to respect yourself. And I want to close with 3 pieces of advice from Mr. Hall. Walker promotes itself as a school for families who value a perspective-widening education. One way to do that I've already talked about. Keep asking questions. Keep engaging in thoughtful conversations with people who see things differently than you do. Another way is to read interesting and challenging books. Books like the autobiography of Malcolm X. I think he's the most misunderstood person who lived in the 20th century. And when I read this book 30 years ago, I couldn't get over how it transformed the way that I saw him. The Language of God by Francis Collins. Can belief in science and belief in God coexist? This book is written by the director of the National Institute for Health. He was the director of the Human Genome Project. He is one smart person, and this is one incredible book that a board member gave to me about 10 years ago, and I really loved it. and the way that it expanded my thinking. Now, any of you who've had civil rights know the next book that's coming, Just Mercy by Brian Stevenson. Did you know that the United States of America represents 4% of the world's population, but is home to 20% of the world's prisoners? Why is that? This book will really, really open your eyes to the whole situation that we have in our country about incarceration. And it's a story, as it says, a story of justice and redemption. I encourage you to read it. Secondly, I want you to know that and remind you that Walker believes in the power of meaningful relationships. Never forget that relationships take work. There's a lot of give and take in relationships, and you may need help with a relationship that isn't working well. Never be afraid to seek counseling if you need it personally, or if it will help strengthen your relationship with someone you love dearly. My wife and I have been married almost 37 years, and we've really had to work hard to keep our relationship strong. One of the most important things we did early in our marriage was engage in marriage counseling. And I'm not talking about premarital marriage counseling. I'm talking about, what have I gotten myself into marriage counseling? That was mostly the way she felt, and she was right. But it worked. It made a big difference. Finally, let me just say one more time that when I look at you, I see a person of infinite worth and dignity. And while you were hoping to get away tonight without having to hear about one of Walker's core values again, there is a really important message here that I don't want you to miss. Before you head off to college, identify your core values. The example that I thought of was, always talk to someone you respect before making a big decision. That might be an example of a core value that you would adopt. But I think identifying your own personal core values will help guide you when you need it most in college and beyond. I think it's such an important and often overlooked step, particularly when you're heading to a new chapter in your life. Identify your core values. I want to ask everyone but the class of 2022 to please stand, if you are able. Class of 2022, never forget that all of us here, all of us standing right now, think that each of you is of infinite worth and value. And we will continue to stand with you in this new chapter in your life. Don't ever be afraid to reach out and ask for help should you need it. Thank you. You can sit down. Congratulations, class of 2022. Go find your deep gladness. Our world needs each of you.
I'm wearing a few hats tonight. So first, as kind of grade level dean for you guys, I just want to quickly say thank you. That's it, just thank you. I'm really deeply grateful for the 4 years with you guys. Now I'll be playing the role of Jean Bayer, who is unable to join us tonight. So could Ms. Bayer's advisory, Sam, Lily, Paul, Jack, Nico, Olivia, Kyra, Helena, Harrison, Juliet, James, and Ike come up and stand up here in front, looking out that way. Hi, guys. It was really only a very short time ago that we were all thrown together in this thing called advisory. We didn't know each other, we didn't know how high school would work, or what experiences it would bring. We sure didn't expect a pandemic, but we have faced it all together. Even though COVID put a damper on many activities and opportunities for us, we still managed to shop for our Angel Tree kids, make posters and cards to support various groups, and celebrate our combined victories. As a group, we have taken 36 advanced placement courses, founded 3 clubs, performed as cheerleaders, and played on the football, soccer, lacrosse, volleyball, swim, baseball, softball, and tennis teams, and a shout out to Paul for his undefeated season this year. We sang and danced in musicals, show choir, and played music in the pit, pep band, and concert band. We earned Eagle Scout, led the student body through our positions on Honor Council, SAU, the Diversity Alliance, and Class Council, and through peer leadership and step-up leaders. And through the process of doing all these things, we have become allies, advocates for each other, friends, and yes, family. Now, as you graduate and prepare for the next step in your lives, you leave Walker with self-assurance, determination, and Ms. Bayer's very best wishes. She will miss each of you, and congratulations.
Little babies, come on up. Ira Dawson said that to me one time, and I never will forget it. These are your babies, that's what he said. And I went through 3 years with the previous group, but 4 years you really understand what it's like to be, I don't know, a surrogate father of some sort. But I will say that my biggest compliment to you all is that 9 out of 10 times I look forward to advisory. When you guys came in there, you were gracious to one another. That's true. You talked to me like an adult. That's also true. You made me happy. You really did. You lifted my heart in ways that I can't really express. And these are fake tears, by the way. Yeah. But I wish you the best. Mr. Hall had some really good points that I can't say any better. Read, don't TikTok. It was pretty much right on point. My number, my email, my address is always open to you. If you don't know it by this point, I'll leave it on a card outside. 867-5309 is, you can find me there at any time. Yeah. Don't come by the house unless you absolutely need to, but seriously, I'm always here for you. You guys have really reestablished my faith in this generation to go on and lead and do much better things than my generation, the millennials, that's for sure. And if you want to get in an argument with the boomer generation, then let's do that too. But you guys are amazing. I will miss you so, so much. I don't want to say goodbye quite yet, but I love you from the bottom of my heart, each and every one of you. Bye, Martin.
All right, Bandy's bosses, come over. Felipe, Carson, Devon, Amari, Alec, Anna, Adam, Sarah, Amy, Emily, Ethan, Robert, and Reese. Could there be a place where one did not fight one's own reflections? Perhaps in the reflection of someone else. Guy Garcia's character in his short story, Fraser Avenue, illustrates some of our collective struggles in the past couple of years. During this time, seeing you try new things, explore your passions, evaluate your skills, and ask yourself questions has brought me a lot of joy. Your personal commitment to our community and your dedication to the service of others have been, in fact, my #1 motivation, my reason to get out of myself, and my own call to action. Thank you. As you begin your college experience, you will be presented with many exciting opportunities. You'll make decisions on your own. You'll approach problems your way. You'll learn how to follow your intuition, and you'll see yourselves from different perspectives. You will have a chance to start from zero, to reinvent yourself, so to speak. As an immigrant myself, I'm familiar with those feelings. I know what reinvention entails. Living in a different country is a unique experience that requires you to adapt to new environments and to relearn even the most basic things that you took for granted. This is your time. So, press the reset button and take this opportunity to question, to re-examine. What is it that is essential to you? What can you do without? What is it that you value most? My dear advisees, because of your experience at Walker, you will be prepared to work side by side with individuals who've made from different backgrounds, who may speak a little weird, who may learn or see the world differently. You will be prepared to embrace the uneasiness of change and the challenges that will, without a doubt, come your way. And you will be ready with passion and perseverance, just like we have done at Walker together. I will miss you.
Would Brady Eisman come right up? Amari, Hayden, Zach, Callista, Olivia, Billy, Yuan, Max, Gavin, Ella, Nick, and Justin. Well, it has been a pleasure watching each of you grow over these past 4 years. To see you try and then excel at new sports, new classes, new clubs, some that you didn't know that you were going to be excited about to begin with. Also to see us grow together as a group through Angel Tree, a microwave, and ping pong, and magic tricks. In fact, I recall having conversations with a few of you when you first joined the advisory about encouraging you to try new things. And I also encourage you to take that intrepid spirit with you into college to see what you can accomplish. I also know how good of a feeling it must be to accomplish goals that you have your laser focus on. You deserve that feeling. I am proud of each and every one of you. And as I am fond of saying at the end of each advisory, you are free to go, free to stay, and free to go, and also free to return, as we would love to hear about all the wonderful things that you will have accomplished. And I'll pass it off to our co-advisor, Dr. Eisenman.
All right. So we had a bit of a transient advisory. We started with a group that is no longer with us here, and we gained some advisees that have made our group truly remarkable. What stands out to me, though, is how easy and enjoyable it has been to be together. We have a wide range of interests and talents in our advisory: academic, athletic, artistic. But when I reflect on the group, I think about lunches, I think about the microwave and the ping pong tournaments as well. Some of us are a little more competitive, Ella. Most of all, I think about all of those little casual conversations, the everyday. What I'm going to remember most about this group is how nice it has been to be together for just a little bit each day. And then one thank you to Dr. Brady. We've been co-advisors for 8 years, and we won't be next year, and I'm going to miss him, so I wanted to give him a shout, too. All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So I like to refer to my advisory with Miss Pierce, who couldn't be here today, as the best advisory in the whole wide world. So, will Alex, Skylar, Tara, Riley, Jacob, Nicholas, Bella, Robert, come on down, Emma, Reem, Finley, Alex, Addison, and we can't forget Annie. So, while you were here, you were one of Miss Pierce's and my most favorite advisories. While you were here, time went by quickly. While you were here, there was Snapchat, and then there was TikTok. While you were here, there was Fortnite, and then there was Clash Royale. That's for you, Robert. While you were here, we experienced a worldwide pandemic. While you were here, we met in person, virtually, hybrid, and back in person. While you were here, we shared food. Then we shared hand sanitizer. But we always shared our real selves. While you were here, you were lifers, new students, established students, rearranged advisory students, but all Walker students. While you were here, Mrs. Nelson joined Walker, and Mr. Hall will pass the torch. While you were here, there was Spotify, then there was Apple Music. While you were here, there was God's Plan by Drake, and then there was Heat Waves by Glass Animals. While you were here, there were musicals, Footloose, Guys and Dolls, and even High School Musical Junior, the film. While you were here, you were Wolverines in volleyball, baseball, basketball, football, soccer, lacrosse, cross country, track, and even equestrian. While you were here, you were artists, vocalists, and musicians in concert band, pep band, jazz band, orchestra, and pit orchestra. While you were here, there was the iPhone XS, XR, 11, SE, 12, 13, and the SE third generation. While you were here, there was our small group, but there were personal conversations with us one-on-one. While you were here, there was never, and I mean never, silence. Not once in our advisory. There was always something to talk about and never enough time to talk about it. While you were here is something you will always remember. While you were here is something that you will always be a part of you as Walker alumni. And while you are back, come see your advisors and your college counselors, because we will always be excited to see you. Thank you.
All right, I'll call my bunch down. Holden, Toby, Gabe, Amanda, Amelie, Maggie, Lauren, Jackson, Jalen, Eric, Ben, Dominic, Sia, Ryan, and Sophia. A lot of you. Yes, it's sad for me to see the band break up. None of us would have predicted the last 4 years to unfold as they have, but I am really proud of how our little group came together, stuck together, and got through the upheaval of COVID, as well as the more predictable trials and tribulations of high school. This was a fun and gregarious bunch. It was a group that knew how to laugh and how to care. I want to share a few memories that stick with me. I remember our 1-hour lunches during COVID when we became a kind of film club. It quickly became clear to me that you all enjoyed talking over the movies more than actually watching the movies. But that is what I love about this advisory. You love to make each other laugh and feel good. You love to argue about such important topics as whether strawberry or grape Uncrustables are superior. What's the answer? Strawberry. You loved when we were quarantining at home to compete to see who could write the joke that would most entertain my 7-year-old son. You loved debating the weird hypotheticals that I would cook up, like if you could drink only 4 beverages for the rest of your life, what would they be? Or if you could give one wingless animal wings, what animal would you choose? We goofed around, but when it came to getting serious, you could do that too. I was proud of how when it came to serving our community, you guys stepped up and put real heart into your work. Whether making cards for the folks at the senior center, organizing and collecting cans for the food drive, or putting together angel tree gifts for struggling families, you guys showed that you cared and you came through. So as we gather to toast you, to send you off, here is what I wish. That you retain that balance you have shown me for the last 4 years. That you always know the importance of making somebody laugh. That you know how to laugh at yourself and at your world. But that you also know how to work hard, how to fight for what is right, how to care for others, and how to do all that you do with heart and kindness. I'm going to miss you guys.
Come on up, guys. You know who you are. You're the ones that haven't been here yet. Caden, Abney, Henry, Maddie, Elias, Spencer, Jamie, Jordan, Gracie, Allie, Cooper, Garrett, Tayon, and Jack. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. Now I realize you guys probably think this is a description of Elias working at Waffle House. But it's actually a quote from Charles Dickens. And it seems pretty appropriate for the last 4 years. It has been both wonderful and at times heartbreaking to watch these 14 young people grow up. Each has had their struggles and successes, but now we've reached the end. No more canned food drives or Christmas families. No more no-phone Thursdays or homecoming walkouts to learn. Just a short walk across the stage tomorrow and you're done. And I will miss each of you.
Thank you. As we close here, I will keep this very short and just say that it is truly the greatest honor of my job and role that I have the pleasure of reading each of your names as you walk across the stage tomorrow morning. It's no joke, the highlight of my year. With that, keeping it short, I'm going to now yield the remainder of my time to Abney, Emma, and Sydney, who have a quick presentation.
Okay, so we had the honor of making the yearbook this year. For everyone, this is our yearbook. The theme is wonder and what it means to each one of us and where it's going to await all of us in the future. So, this yearbook means a lot to not only Sydney, Abney, and I, but the entire staff and everyone at this school. We've been working on this project since summer of last year, and we put everything into it and couldn't be any more proud of how it turned out. With this being the 65th anniversary for Walker and the 50th anniversary for the Flame, we wanted to capture what it meant to be at Walker and the unique community we have. We thought it was important to highlight all of our greatest accomplishments as a community. So a few ways we did this was through the opening and the first few pages of our book. We drew inspiration from every past yearbook and created a visual timeline. We wanted to capture every tradition we've started, all the clubs and the honors, and every class at Walker. All of the research from our opening books came from our past Flame yearbooks, and through our own yearbooks, we were able to create this special memory. And one of the biggest things that we're excited about is the 5 colors you see running throughout this book are special, custom, and only Walker colors.
Okay. We wanted this book to not only capture our legacy as a class at Walker, but to also honor Mr. Hall's legacy. Mr. Hall started teaching at Walker 11 years ago, however, he's also saying goodbye to Walker with us. He has been such an important part of the Walker community, from knowing every student's name to showing up at every event. He's done so much for all of us in the last 11 years, so we wanted to honor him by giving him a book different from the rest. Thank you, Mr. Hall, for your dedication to the Walker community.
If you'll please stand for the benediction. Class of 2022, thank you for the many and varied ways you have contributed to the Walker School. We are going to miss you, but we send you from this place with great confidence. As you go, may you continue to lead with peace, kindness, and respect, that where there is hatred, you may bring love. Where there is wrong, you may bring a spirit of forgiveness. Where there is discord, you may bring harmony. Where there is error, you may bring truth. Where there is doubt, you may bring faith. Where there is despair, you may bring hope. Where there is sadness, you may bring joy. May you seek to comfort rather than to be comforted, to understand rather than to be understood, to love than to be loved. For it is by giving that one receives. It is by forgiving that one is forgiven. May you never forget the call to lead the way. Amen.